In today's video, I'm going to show you how to charge for paint correction and ceramic coating. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Pro Polishers Academy, where we help paint correctors like you turn your systems into consistency by moving you through the learning curves faster, utilizing formulas that work without fail. I'm Smitty, and I'll be your lead instructor. Let's get into it. So many of us want to know whether we're getting into paint correction or whether or not we're already in it. How much should we be charging for paint correction and ceramic coating? This is something that a lot of us are at a dead end road on, and we don't know how much to charge. We are not able to get any information from local competitors, or there may not even be a local competitor around you to ask questions to. And the information online might be new, it might be old, it might be, some of these forums are 10, 15 years old now, and you have no clue how much you should be charging in today's market. So I'm gonna go over 3 ways that you can figure out your pricing for paint correction and ceramic coating. Number 1, determine your paint correction price. First, you're gonna figure out how much are you gonna charge for your paint correction and what is gonna be the model behind your pricing. Are you gonna have a package price, or are you gonna charge by the hour? If you really wanna make an impact, if you really wanna get all that you can out of that job and get what you're worth, it's best to charge by the hour. Now, you're not going to leave a clock running on these projects. Typically, that's for certain situations where somebody might want something just perfect, but on average, you're going to have an hourly price, but it's going to be set up somewhat similar to a package price, but you're going to be calculating this based off of how many hours you predict it's going to take you to finish the job. So I had a package price once upon a time, and man, that package price, it would be a win in some cases, and it was a major loss in others because it would take more work than expected to finish some of these projects up. So once I switched over to a hourly package price tag, it really changed the game for me. I was able to make a little bit more on my projects, and if I had to do a little extra work beyond what I charged, if I had to do a couple hours extra work based off of that price, it was okay because I wasn't taking a major blow. And a few ways you can come up with your hourly price tag. Number 1, you want to be realistic based on the skill that you have. If you're just getting started, you should charge no less than $60 an hour, but no more than about $80 an hour. That's today in this current market. So at $60 an hour, you can have enough income coming in for one vehicle. Say it takes you one day to do a vehicle. Say it takes 10 hours to do that polish. It'll give you $600 and enough time to figure out and practice on that vehicle. So you're giving the customer something that is valuable, yet you're not trying to get everything that they have in their pockets, and you get to practice on these vehicles as you get better with time. So $60 an hour at 10 hours, it's not a bad deal when you think about how much somebody gets paid on a job or how much you get paid on a job right now. I don't know if you're making $600 a day. So that's pretty good to start off with. That is your starting number. Now, you don't have to stick with these numbers. If you want to back it down, you can, but I recommend $60 an hour. And that is based off of my own experience and watching others who are just getting into it. They might not have had the best skill in the world, but they had enough to demand $60 an hour. So try that out to get going. If you're already going, you might want to work in that $80 an hour range until you have mastered the level that you're working on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button for more paint correction and ceramic coating videos just like this here at the Pro Polishers Academy. You can also look up other automotive niches in your area, like a mechanic, like a painter, and figure out what they're charging per hour. And then you can base your pricing off of that. So it might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but if a mechanic's charging $100 an hour, you should definitely be able to demand at least $60 an hour for what you're about to do. The average mechanic is not working on that vehicle the entire time that they have their vehicle in their hands. A paint corrector is gonna have to work nonstop. Honestly, if you stop, you lose all kind of time. If we're working on an entire vehicle, we don't have time to hang out. We don't have the time to be on the phone. A mechanic might be working on one small problem, and that vehicle might sit with them all day, and it might take them a couple hours to make it happen. So you can definitely demand that 60 minimum if you compare it to a mechanic. A painter might charge $125 an hour, or whatever the case may be, to paint a vehicle. So if you're in the paint industry, if you're restoring paint or protecting paint, then you can base your price around that as well. So that $60 to $80 range is a really good starting point when you're getting going. Let me know down below in the comments if you've had issues understanding paint correction pricing and whether or not that's deterred you from getting out there and making your dreams come true in this industry. Let me know down below. All right, number 2, once you've figured out what you're gonna charge for your paint correction, you need to assess the vehicles that are coming in. Like I said, you need to be able to predict how long it's gonna take you to finish that vehicle. Now, if you haven't done many vehicles yet, if you haven't done a bunch of trucks yet and you've only worked on cars, you're probably gonna take a little bit of a loss, but it's not really a loss, it's a learn when you're trying to determine how long it's gonna take you to finish that truck or that van, whatever the case may be. So in the beginning, let's say you charge somebody 80 bucks an hour and you tell them it's gonna be a 10-hour project, but it takes you 14 hours. And you're gonna have to take a few little hits on the chin just to understand your timing so that when more trucks come in or more cars like this one that you just did that you had to take a little bit of a financial loss on, when more of those come in, you'll know exactly how much time it takes and you can charge exactly what it's gonna take for you to finish that project. So right now, we know that finishing a car might take a good 8 to 12 hours depending on the size of the vehicle, the color of the vehicle, and the paint hardness of that vehicle. The defects really don't matter because typically everything we do, if it's an older vehicle, it's gonna be a two-step process anyway. So it's really about the hardness of the paint. How long is it gonna take us to clear out those defects? What do we have to do to level out that clear coat? So we know 8 to 12 hours, so we can charge accordingly. With the truck, 16 to 20 hours easily. And I had to take a lot of hits on the chin working on these trucks to figure out my process, trying to speed it up and then thinking I have gotten around that learning curve of 16 to 20 hours and then just realizing, hey, this is just what it is. A black truck, a 4-door black truck, it's gonna take me 20 hours to get it exactly how I want it every single time. So understand how long it's gonna take by assessing these vehicles and working on these vehicles to figure out a really solid paint correction price tag. And then as you grow, you can up your price. You may get to the point where you know that you know what you're doing, your reviews are reflecting that you know what you're doing, and then you don't have to look at forums or ask questions about how much you should charge. Then you can start charging what you think you're worth, and people are either gonna pay it or they're not. And if they don't pay it, then hey, you might need to back your price down. The people at the end of the day, they dictate whether or not your price is solid or not. Number 3, figuring out which ceramic coating you're going to be using and which process you're going to be following to apply it. This plays a major role in figuring out how much you're going to charge for the ceramic coating. A lot of guys are packaging the ceramic coating with the paint correction and taking big hits on their revenue and their income because they don't understand how to separate the two. These are two completely different services. You don't want to charge somebody, say, 1,500 bucks for the ceramic, when really you should have charged 2,500 total because that vehicle needed paint correction as well. It needed to be included. So you have to break these things down and itemize each of those services. These are two different services. Imagine a vehicle that has no swirl in it and you're charging them 1,500. Why would you charge that client the same 1,500 for a vehicle that needs paint correction? You have to have a price for your paint correction and a price for your ceramic coating. Many of us are getting burnt out in the detailing world because of our pricing. We think it's because we're just tired, it's a lot of work, but really it's the amount of work you're putting in and it's the amount that you're charging. It's not leveling out, it's not balancing out, and it's not making sense, guys. So you're charging 1,500 across the board for any vehicle in any form, fashion, any shape, cars, trucks, SUVs. Guys, you gotta have your pricing set up specifically for each vehicle. Anytime somebody goes to the doctor, they don't have a set price at the doctor's office. It's gonna be contingent upon the problem that you have. So when you understand this and you understand how to itemize your services, your pricing will go the way that you want it to go and you'll start to get what you're worth. And it's important that you understand this, especially if you haven't started yet, because in the beginning it's very stressful and you might not be able to see your money coming in. You might not even be making enough money to see it come in. So understand this from the beginning. Ceramic coating and paint correction are two separate prices. So when it comes to the application of the ceramic coating, you need to understand the difference between SiO2, which is silica dioxide coatings, and TiO2, which is titanium dioxide coatings. And then you have DLC coatings that are diamond-like carbon coatings. So you got to understand what it takes to apply these different types of coatings, understanding the science behind them, not just the brand name, not just who's who and who's applying it and who's not. There are scientific measures that need to be taken in order for you to enjoy applying ceramic coatings. With the coating that we chose, OptiCoat Pro, which is a TiO2 product, I studied a shop in the Midwest for a while they were showing how to apply this product and how you can coat a vehicle in 30 minutes. And I said, you know what, this makes sense, because the last coating that I had, which was an SiO2 coating, it was taking me 2 and 3 hours to apply this stuff, and I was sweating bullets by the end of the job and not enjoying the process. So if these guys can apply this one in 30 minutes, and I understand it's a different science behind the two coatings, I'm gonna give it a shot. On that first go round for me, it still took me 4 hours to coat a small coupe with this coating that was supposedly only gonna take 30 minutes to coat with. And I couldn't understand what was going on. I was ready to give that up because I was tired of wasting time and tired of taking all this time to apply these coatings. But then I understood humidity. Humidity plays a major role in ceramic coating, and it can make you hate it or it can make you love it. So I backtracked, went back and did some research on where that shop was specifically located in the Midwest, and they were in an area that had no humidity. So therefore, it was nothing for them to apply that ceramic coating. They could let it linger for as long as they wanted to, but I had about 50 to 70% humidity in my building, and still do to this day, even with the climate control, just because we live in a humid area. So now I understand that I can't let that coating sit and have the same amount of dwell time as somebody who has no humidity in their air. It makes a major difference. So now I know that my coating can be applied in 30 minutes, but I have to put that stuff on and get it right off. I can't go around half of the vehicle and then come back and remove the ceramic coating. I have to apply it to a panel and get it right off because it's flashing quickly. The dwell time is not the same as it is in a place with no humidity. So down in Florida, I've heard of guys having nightmares with high spots because the coating is just that hard to apply, guys. So it just comes with the territory. Literally understand what it's gonna take for you to apply that coating, and study that coating and whether or not it's a very tacky or sticky coating, and understand the humidity that's in your air. You need to have a humidity gauge in the building at all times. If it's a hot muggy day, or if it's a cold muggy day, or if it's about to rain, I know that we're about to have a fight with the ceramic coating because the gauge is reading 70–80% humidity, but I'm prepared for it and I understand what it takes to make it happen. So make sure you know how much it's gonna take from you to apply that ceramic coating, guys. You might need to set a whole day aside just to coat. And if you're coating something that requires multiple layers and hours in between each layer, then you need to also include that. Think about that when you're pricing out your ceramic coatings, because that is taking time away from other projects. So if you're using something that requires, say, 3 layers and 4 hours in between each layer, you got to understand that you're talking 12+ hours. You got to think about the hour or two it's going to take to apply each layer, and then the 3 sets of 4 hours in between. Guys, this is a lot of time that it takes to ceramic coat a car. So you may need to roll your price a little bit higher than the person next door to you because they're using different coatings than you are. So that's why it's imperative that you study the products that you have, understand your pricing. Don't worry about anybody who's around you. There's really no competition because nobody does business the same way, guys. If you want to learn more about pricing your paint correction and ceramic coating jobs, go check out our Guide to Gloss course, guys. It's my life's work. I've got everything in there that you need about becoming #1 in your area for your paint correction and ceramic coatings, guys. From the tools to the processes to dealing with clients to understanding ceramic coatings and the differences therein, guys, everything that you need to get out there and roll with your business is in this Guide to Gloss. It's a business in a box. Go check it out. The link is in the description. And if you're ready to take your business to another level or have a solid foundation before you get going in your business, go check out my 5 keys to a successful paint correction and ceramic coating business. Link is also in the description for that. I've got information in there that you've been asking questions about and some information that you didn't know you needed. So check that out. And if you want to come and train with me one-on-one, check out my Pro Polish workshop, where you can come in and work with me with up to 4 guys on your team, and we will get it in, and I'll show you my processes, the tools, the pads that we use, all the techniques, and what you can scratch out of your head that the rest of the detailing world might have put in there that you really don't need, guys. We show you how to be efficient, and we show you how to do business in your paint correction business. It's not just garage work. We show you how to deal with people, how to keep up with your numbers. Guys, we want to make sure that you understand how to run a successful business that's going to be something that you can pass down to the generations beyond you. So again, if you want to come in and train with me, that link is in the description. Don't forget to check it out. That's it for today, guys. We'll see you next time. The paint is waiting on you. Peace. Hey, if you enjoyed that content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button for all the Pro Polisher Academy videos when they pop up. And we've created a merch line for you guys, the Modern Pro & Co lineup, and today I'm wearing the Breeders of Ingenuity shirt. And necessity breeds ingenuity. And in this industry, I've had to come up with a lot of my own inventions just to get to where I'm at today. So we also spell ingenuity with an E as opposed to an I, just as an ode to the automotive industry and the love of motors, engines, etc. So go check out the merch line, links in the description. We'll see you guys later. Peace.